Hello, everybody, and I want to welcome you back to another one of our podcasts with Rayze. And I am very blessed and honored today to be with my good friend Sherwin. And why I feel so blessed is because this man is probably one of the most inspiring men I had just recently re-met. You know, I haven't seen Sherwin now for, I don't know, I think we met in 2018.
Yeah.
2018, and this is what, 5 years later. And what he has done in the last 5 years really totally just blew my mind. And I arrived here in this beautiful resort called Aviland Golden Paradise. And I have to say, it really is a paradise. I thought my island was nice, but his island is absolutely just stunning. And you'll be able to see photos and videos that I have made within all this morning about just the wonderfulness of his island. So, without much ado, I want to welcome Sherwin. Sherwin, thank you for being on this podcast. I really
Thank you, Ray,
appreciate that.
for visiting this place.
Yeah.
And it's really amazing that one of a good friend of mine, first time to visit here.
Yeah.
And thank you.
And I want to thank you for hosting us today.
You're welcome.
And it's been an amazing pleasure. So, Sherwin, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know a lot of our podcasts and YouTubers are dying to know all about Sherwin and the empire that he is slowly building. All right. Well, so real quickly, when I first met him in 2018, he had this company in which he was a real estate broker called Aviland Properties.
Yes.
Right, in Naga.
Yeah, that's right.
And I remember going up into your office and I said to myself, wow, this guy's pretty impressive. He has a real estate company. But now, 5 years later, I've realized that you have grown rather healthily in terms of all your business endeavors and what you were able to create for yourself. And he's going to be able to share some of, or hopefully all of what he has been doing in the last 5 years. And I'm sure all of you will be blown away. So tell us a little bit more about you and how you started. And really, I'd love for you to be able to start from the beginning, because the story that you shared with me last night, I mean, from where you are to where you are today is really amazing. And it's the basis of I think an appropriate title for this podcast is called One Fish. It started with one fish. Right.
Oh, right. it's kind of like before I become a licensed real estate broker. It's a lot of things to it happens. Many many things happened before that.
Yeah.
When I was 9 years old, my father died. This really makes me sad and frustration, because we don't have anything with that.
Yeah.
But still, my mom told me that just be brave, move forward for your dreams, achieve your goals. But the only things that my mom give it to me is the perseverance.
Wow.
So we don't have money for it. How can I do my, reach my study? Because my dad already died.
Because you were, at that time, you were poor.
Yeah.
Your family was poor.
My father is an overseas worker before, and my mom is a plain housewife.
She was just a housewife.
Yeah, and a housewife. And of course, we just depend on the income of my father. But since then, it happens gone because no more father.
Yeah.
So
you almost had to become the breadwinner while you're still studying.
Yes. What I did is that time I started to look forward to my dreams. first thing to do is to, of course, I need to finish my study. But how can I finish my study without, income?
Yeah.
So,
Still have to eat.
yes. So what I did is went to the wet market, public wet market, which is my cousin is there selling fish. So I started to do, consignment. I asked for a fish and I will sell it to the street just to have my small income.
All right.
And to make my allowance, and that is the start of my my
Fish business.
fish business. Become a fish vendor, and time passes by. I move forward to my education. I finished my secondary level doing that kind of business, and very very thankful because little by little the business is getting grower and grower. And on the time of my tertiary level, I took up a business course, and that time I already owned my stall in the market.
So you started from one fish in consignment, selling it on the street, to eventually having your own little store,
Yes.
your stall in the wet market.
In the wet market.
Yeah.
And at that time, I am no longer a retailer. I become a distributor. And yeah, I mentioned it to you before that I went to the place like in Tamban. I've been there
Yeah.
for about 4 years. So because taking all the effort and time going there, and in return I earn a lot of money while I'm
Doing retail.
doing retail as well as wholesaler, become a wholesaler. But of course still I have made my decision to continue my schooling or my study.
Yeah.
Then I finished
Wow.
my course as a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration.
Okay. So you got your degree
So I got
while you're still having your fish stall,
yeah.
right?
So still, I noticed that even though I have a kind of business, I'm aiming high. So what I did is to connect or to apply for different companies because I already learned a lot of things about selling fish, doing business with fishing industry. But I tried another venture.
Yeah.
I become an employee. And that time I engaged with a real estate company, and I become marketing staff.
Okay.
So
So you were a marketing assistant when you first got out of
Yes,
college
yes.
for a real estate company.
for a real estate company,
Okay.
and I was really surprised that the money that I earn from that company is kind of like it's not enough for my daily expenses compared to my
Fish business.
fish business.
How much were you making in a fish stall?
When
per
I
day?
was in my fishing business, I earned sometimes kind of like 2,000 every day, 3,000,
Yeah.
because I become a distributor. I spend more. I went to Tamban and connect to different buyers, the big buyers there, and I send it to market and I send it all to the stall.
And here's what's interesting. How old were you at that time?
15.
You're 15 years old, and he's selling his fish to now distributors in different cities.
Yes.
Right.
Then still I continued doing that kind of business until I finished my study, and that
Yeah.
was already 20 years old.
Right.
Then I engaged in the real estate business as an employee when I become at 21.
Yeah. And back then, as an employee, you were only earning maybe less than 500 pesos.
Oh gosh, it's kind of like
compared to
400 pesos a day
400 pesos a day compared to 2,000
Yeah.
pesos working in a fish
when I
stall.
work.
So then you started to say, what more in life, right?
The most important when I was in the experience that I've learned when I was in school, the experience that I learned when I was in in the, in the field of business or in the field of being an employee are quite different. But you choose this kind of life. So you have so many things to do in your life that you are the one who can make your own decisions.
Right.
When I'll go back again to my schooling, I'm not only doing selling fish when I was in schooling, but still I preferred to do business while I'm studying in the campus. And then I have my backpack, and people there are saying, "Oh, you're so bright, Sherwin, because you're plenty of, your bag is kind of like a huge bag." They never knew it that my bag is full of dried fish. I was just selling it to my teachers and my professors.
Right.
Because this is my life, doing business, and still don't have enough time to study well. That's why my goal when I was in studying is to finish. Even though my grades is not enough, that's like 75, it's okay with me, but I passed the subjects.
Right.
But still I'm doing my business.
Right.
Then the thing is that when I was in the real estate company, it's another set of life where I choose to be, and I never regret that because I learned a lot with the real estate.
Yeah.
One thing is that,
and it's going to serve you in your future.
yes, I wasn't expecting that. But one thing is that I always think about every time I live in this world, I make an history. My life is in the book. It's in the history of Sherwin Avila. It's a book. I finished my college, my degree. I wrote a book.
Yeah.
The development of fishing industry of Calabanga, Camarines.
Oh my God. So he's also an author.
Yes.
In college.
In college. Then I work in a real estate. So still, this is kind of like a tough job for me because I don't earn a lot. But still, there is one thing that reminds me. When my dad, the last breath of my dad, I was there. And I promised to my dad that I'm gonna be like him. I want to work also in other country to be like an overseas worker.
An OFW.
An OFW. So while I am working in the real estate company in Laguna, I thinking about to undergo again for study, and I choose being a caregiving.
A caregiver.
A caregiver. So I study 6 months for my caregiving course while I am working. It's really tough for me because I work in my office for 8 to 5. Then after that, I go to the school, study for 2 hours or 3 hours. Then I do my on-the-job training, something like after my office hour, I just slept around 6 in the evening. Then I woke up around 10 in the evening. Then I go to the hospital for my on-the-job training from 10 in the evening till 7 in the morning. Then I just went back to my apartment, changed my clothes, then back to work.
So for months, you were practically working 20 hours a day straight, only to sleep for 3 to 4 hours.
And it's doing that kind of job is really tough.
I can imagine. And then you became a caregiver and realized how much tougher being a caregiver was.
Well, I was thinking about that. The only thing that I can go to other country is to make some difference or a tough job, which is a caregiver that was in demand at that time. So when I finished the caregiving course, then the one of the agencies opened the opportunity in Macau. So the company is a nursing home. It is managed by Jesuits and a nun. Those are nuns and Indian nuns. But they look forward those who are caregiver and nurses that can speak Cantonese, because of course if you're gonna manage those elderly, you
need to speak the local
a
language.
local language. So what I did, I keep on studying again
Studied again.
and again. So
And you learn how to speak Cantonese.
yes, I learned Cantonese.
And you say hello, and hello, how are you doing?
Neho. So it's kind of like interesting, you know.
Yeah.
Learn a lot of things, learn a lot of language, learn a lot of experience. So when I took my Cantonese lesson and eventually I passed, and the company from Macau hired me and the other Filipinos, I become very amazed because my promise to my dad is now I
Now
become
you-
an OFW.
OFW, just like what your dad was.
Yes. But and I told when I was thinking about it, Dad, I already reached my
Goal.
my goal to become an OFW. I leave the real estate, then now I become a caregiver. But-
And you did that for about 10 years, right?
Yes.
Oh my God.
10 years working and serving the locals of Macau.
I did some caregiving to my dad during the pandemic while he was sick, and he was dying of cancer. And I could only imagine how hard, that was really hard for me for 2 years, a year and a half, actually. I can't imagine doing that for 10 years for people you don't know.
One thing that makes me strong with handling those people, because when I was young, one of my uncle is kind of like mentally ill.
Hmm.
So I was young, and my mom cannot handle this kind of situation. So how can we help to feed my uncle? How they can, because sometimes they are
Yeah.
they are mentally ill. Then sometimes they are angry. They're gonna rob you. They're gonna hit you. So that makes me strong and do something more different in order to make to manage this kind of job. So it happens that there are two things still in my mind when I was in Macau working as caregiver. If I will push through this caregiver, I will stay in Macau forever. But before I leave the Philippines, before I resign in my company, the boss that she really likes me to stay in that company, teach me a lot of things. And I learned a lot with the real estate company because I become a marketing staff, and our clients are overseas Filipino workers, investing properties in the Philippines, but they are in other countries. They are planning to buy a house to have their own, something like a financial, they find the different financing agencies like the bank, the PEG-EB, in-house financing. We are the one who is doing that kind of such of financing and do some documentation for them. So I learned a lot with them. So when I was in Macau, there's a big opportunities for me to work again
In the real estate.
in a real estate world. That's why I talked to my boss. Can I work in this company even though I'm in Macau? Of course you can do that. All you have to do is to teach them, educate the overseas worker on how to save their money or how to invest their money in real estate. So that when they go back to Philippines, their money, their investment are in good hand. They have their own house that they can call a home. They can own a condominium that they can, rent it out to others.
So let me guess. You were in Macau, you're changing diapers, and during your break, you're selling real estate and financial advice to your coworkers.
Yes. What I did is something like this. I work from 8 to 6 as a caregiver, 8 to 5, something like that. And I have my break time. So, of course, I do more online selling. And sometimes, and most of the time, I need to educate my coworkers, especially Filipinos coworkers, that save your money in the best way. How? Like this. Save your money, put your money in the investment like a real estate. Buy your own house in the Philippines. You cannot spend more money. Just spend something like a down payment for 20%, and the rest of that will gonna shoulder by the financing agencies. And you will gonna pay monthly. Your amortization, pay it to the financing agencies like the bank or the Pag-ibig. And you can have your house.
Yeah.
And your family will gonna stay there forever while you are working in abroad.
Yeah.
So I teach them. I'm not selling them right away, but I keep on teaching them how to invest properties. And I become successful. To start that one, I start with closing the properties, but it's not easy. You know what I did? My cousin in the Philippines, I told them to resign
from their work
to and
work with you,
work with me, connect with the family of overseas worker. Here are the contacts, here are the information that you need to know, and bring it to the developers that we are working. And the developers, the staff there will gonna entertain the family, and they are doing the closing. So that's what I did.
Now that's just an amazing story. What's more amazing is where you took off from there. Right?
All right.
You were saying the story last night that really hit home for me, and how he was able to study as hard as he can in order to get his real estate broker license, right?
You know, it's kind of like memorable to me.
Yeah.
Every time I sleep, it reminds me a lot of things when I was in Macau, doing such kind of job. When in last 2012, the government or the professional regulatory board are now become strict of, selling the properties must be a licensed broker. And at the time, I'm not a licensed broker. So another plan, another thinking about, okay, if I don't want to stay here for long in Macau, I need to pass or I need to have my license
As a broker.
So what I did,
While you're working,
while I'm working as a caregiver,
you're studying.
I'm studying again. And I went back to Philippines to take my board exam.
The first one.
That was 2012. I failed.
Okay.
And of course, people there, why are you trying to do such things? You already have stable here. You earn a lot here.
So your coworkers and your friends and your family are saying, why are you studying again?
Yes. Why are you spending your money studying again? You're now in the level of,
Yeah, you're making money. You're making good income. Why are you studying again?
Because my goal is to go back to Philippines. But once I go back to Philippines, I want my own name. How can I make my own name or an own business if this is the way to pass the exam? So it takes lots of years. I take it for 5 times.
You failed
For
2013, you took the exam 2014, and you failed.
from 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2015, I failed.
The real estate brokerage board
Yes,
4 times.
4 times. Then, the
Coworkers
the
making fun
core
of you.
makes me laughing at me because you are not smart. You are not something like, if you hear those words, or you screwed your life. And sometimes my cousin told me, "Oh, you better go to the building and jump,
Commit suicide.
commit suicide, because it's almost 4 years of your life you
You've been
never
studying and you've never passed.
you never pass."
Everyone was telling you to quit.
Yeah, just quit that kind of thinking.
But
It's
what
not
was
alone.
in your mind? What was telling you to keep persevering?
First thing is that this is all I want. I choose this, and I want to prove it to the people that I can make it in a last minute of my life. So on the 2016, which is my 10th year as a caregiver, I passed the exam.
What an amazing story.
Yes. And everyone there are surprised. What? Yes.
You passed.
Yeah, I passed. Then my
Real quickly, you said earlier your mom told you have to persevere. Was that voice ringing in the back of your mind over and over again?
that is always reminds me the word of my mom. Don't stop dreaming. Follow your dreams, and one day you will achieve that goal.
Persevere.
And I become a licensed broker. And after that, I
Came to the
asked,
Philippines?
and then I'm back to Philippines. I started my own company, which is the Aviland Properties.
And in 2017, 2018, that's when I met you.
Yeah, that was the time that we met.
Yes. Yes. We
In a
met at
restaurant.
a restaurant.
cafe, yeah.
A cafe.
Yeah.
Right.
I was just started my business.
And I remember he invited me up to go to his office. And it was just a small, simple
Yeah.
office. And I think it was just you back then, right?
Yeah.
Right? And you were selling property. And I was kind of impressed by it. And I was also considering buying property at that time. Right?
I offer you some properties in Nagasaki, here in Nagasaki.
Yes. Yes.
Then I was thinking about that, and I want more expansion. So I opened my office in Sorsogon, Iriga, Nagasaki, Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Tarlac,
Oh my God.
Bulacan. Then
How many offices did you
I
open?
think eight to nine offices.
8 to 9 offices all over
Luzon, North Luzon, and South Luzon.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, dreaming a lot of things. But, all this happens to me because I keep on inspiring people. And even though in the real estate business, I go to that a simple place. Like when I started in Sorsogon, way back to Sorsogon, I reach those people. I don't look forward to, not only for those who are in high educations or finish. I also look to the people who are in needs, but they have their plan, their goals also. Something that, they don't have a guts, or, they are planning, but,
There was something stopping them.
yeah. So I look forward to those people. Then what I did is to share all my experience and my life to them. This is how I become
Aviland.
Aviland. I started for this from one fish to become a distributor, caregiver, a realtor, and now I own the company.
And this is not even the end of his story, because it even gets more amazing after that, right? So
Yeah.
now here you are, you have multiple offices all over Luzon area, right? You have how many employees, workers did you have at that time?
The time when
Realtor.
I started to do my real estate business, I connect to different brokers, my co-brokers, because we have a limit. As a broker, at least we have 20 real estate salesperson agents. So what I did, okay, let's combine our salespersons to make it bigger and bigger and bigger for the different places. So it's become something like almost 800 agents from combined to different brokers also.
Right.
So that is what we did with our company, and then it makes me a lot of sales because of helping each other.
Right.
Then in the time of we're very happy with doing that kind of inspiring people then to do like this kind of business, and sharing them how to make more profit when it comes to real estate business, and we inspire them and they engage with us.
Right.
From 2017 up to 2019. So we're very happy with that. But when the time of pandemic came in the Philippines and the entire world, oh my gosh.
It changed
everything. Even our business is screwed up.
Yeah.
People screwed. Business going down. And most of the sales is
Wiped out.
They don't continue. So it kind of depressing myself. But what I think is that I need to do more things. At that time of pandemic, I was here in Bicol, still doing such kind of listing properties. And one of the listing property is this beach, and this kind of beach. And the owner of this is nearby in my place, and they told me to sell this beach
For them. Yeah.
So okay, but what I did is I need to see ocular this place before I sell these properties. So, but it's kind of like it's pandemic. Still, they challenge my, my capacity to how can I sell these beaches in the pandemic. When I reach this place, it's not like this. It's kind of like raw. There are many trees. No one can passing by here.
You pretty much saw the beach, but everything else was all jungle.
Yeah, it's a jungle.
Yeah. So the only thing that you had was a vision,
Yes.
right?
When I reach this place, it's kind of like I think I love this place.
It was love at first sight.
Yes. I think I will make another plan for this. But it's not easy that it comes up with buying by
Land.
myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna sell it to others. Because it's a huge money. I don't have that kind of money.
It was like selling for how much?
It's around 7 million.
7 million.
7 million pesos. And I don't have that kind of money. What I did when I was in the real estate, I invest also. I have
So you took your own advice and you bought property
Yeah.
for yourself.
When I was in Macau, I saved my money and I invest in condominium in
Right.
Mall of Asia. Then I also invest in housing project, like it's a single duplex. So in Laguna. So when I become a licensed broker, I already have those properties. But still, I paid monthly amortization with the financing agencies. So because I put it in the financing, and the condominium is in bank and the house is in Pag-ibig. Then when I reach this place, one thing that I really plan, or most of my vision, is to have this. I changed my mind. I don't want to sell it anymore. I want to buy this.
Yeah, it's mine, you said.
Yeah.
Now it's just, how do I make it mine?
Yeah. How do I make it mine? Then the owner of this land always told me, there are many prospective buyers already been here, and
Foreigners and locals.
Foreigners and locals, politicians,
Yeah.
and they are rich, but they don't buy this
Yeah.
area. But when I talked to the owner, and she told me, if it is yours, you can be yours. That's the only thing, that the words I hear from the owner. So what I did, okay, they give me a contract for selling this for 1 year. So what I did, when we go back to the city, I told the owner, I'm gonna start to sell my property and to make some down payment. So I called my friend in Manila. I told them to, could you sell
your property,
my condominium, but it's under by bank. Oh, it's okay. There's no worry about that. And they told me that because that time the the Pogo or the Chinese are there. In a blink of an eye, kind of like 2 days, they called me and you have to
Come to Manila.
come in Manila and sign that contract.
You sold your properties in 2 days.
Yes, through the help of my friend.
Right.
Then I made the money.
You had enough for a healthy down payment.
Yeah, for the down payment. Then I called the owner that, can I give you a certain 2 million pesos for the down payment, and the rest will be installment. And I also have my apartment, the 2 apartment, I want to sell it again. And once I sell this, I can send it to you also. So that's, and the owner said, yes, it's okay, because it's enough money for us to spend. We're old enough. We just only have my maintenance for the medications, for our foods, because they are kind of like that.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that, because when I go back here, I started to
Dream again. What could you do with this property?
Yes. What I did first is to clean it up, all this, make it beautiful, make it presentable, make it a living place. So what you see now is through the help of the locals. So it happens, dreaming and dreaming, planning and doing more plans with this. I become stuck in this place. But that time, around 2019, 2020, it's kind of like pandemic, 2021. It's screwed all my business, but it reminds me that I can also make business again. A business which is kind of like more essentials and in needs, which is
Food.
the foods or the fish.
And really quickly, I remember at that time, I was running, I bought, an island, and I was doing tours. And I remember I saw several of your posts saying that you have just bought an island and you're starting this resort. And I said to myself, I want to see Sherwin again because I see you growing. I see you expanding yourself. I see you venturing into new business. And in fact, my cousin and I were driving from Angelica Beach Resort here in Suruma. And as we were driving down the road, we see Sherman's truck driving on the opposite direction, coming to Suruma as we were leaving. And it was so funny. It's like, oh my God, Sherman. And you said, yeah, I'm building a resort. Right?
Yes.
And I remember just saying to myself, I can't wait to sit back with him one day. I told myself, one day I want to sit back with him and talk to him about his new adventures in a new business. And here we are several years later doing that.
When by the time of pandemic, it hits a lot about business. So I stay here in the island and started to plan more plans. But my plan is no longer for business.
Mm-hmm.
Not only business. It's kind of like, how can I connect with the locals? Because I saw this place, we need more change. So the only thing I did is I started to talk to the locals. I started to learn all their cultures here, their attitude, the way they work here, they make their the routine in this island, and it comes up to, okay, I need to go back to what Sherwin made before, the one fish again.
One fish.
Yeah. So I started to invite the fishermen, the small fishermen. What they call the small fishermen, they have their boats.
Yeah.
And the boats, most of them, they don't have a boat with, what do you call that? Double macker.
Yeah.
The big boats, they don't have.
Okay.
Some of them, yes, but most of them
have
are
small boats.
And
that accommodate just maybe one or two people.
yes, and they just only catch their fish close by this area. Only that, it's something like 50 to 100 meters, because they cannot. They are afraid to go farther because
their boats are small.
The boat is small. So I was thinking about that, and I saw their fish. That's why they are kind of like poor, because
their fish was small.
The fish that they catch is kind of like. But when I saw those big boats, they catch a lot of fish, but still they are poor because the price is very
cheap. They're pricing their fish so low.
Yeah, I was thinking it's unfair to those locals that they are trying to work hard, but it's not enough for their family, for their foods, for the education of the children, and for their future, because the money that I earn is not enough.
The money that they earn is not enough to provide for
their future. So I keep on inviting them little by little. Come over here and let's do some more education. So I keep on educating them. I keep on inspiring them by telling this, who is Sherwin, how they become like this. I don't want you to, to look up and Sherwin is at the top. Always, let's make it simple as who you are, because I can manage myself also as simple as that, because I want you to look forward and to learn a lot for me. So what I did is to think about, how can I connect with people? How can I learn all these know the needs of them, so that I can plan for them. So it comes up with, okay, I'm gonna start to buy your fish. So little by little,
You bought their fish, you sold their fish.
yeah, I bought their fish. I send it to Calabanga
To the market.
in the in the market. Then I sell it. Then it's growing. Since it's pandemic time, I keep on doing online transactions,
Selling
posting,
it through Facebook.
selling through Facebook, posting the seafoods. And the cities, the Naga cities, there are lots of, there are businessmen, like Filipino Chinese businessmen, or those people are in high-end people that can afford to buy our fish. So I make it more pricey, or the higher price, because I know that they can afford this, but I make it sure that the quality of our fish is the best quality that ever. So I made it. I connected different companies in Naga City, and the connections of them, the word of mouth, endorsing this company to different friends, relatives, and family, and become bigger.
You've been networking.
Yeah. Instead of selling in the market,
yeah,
I sell it through online and deliver. I hired my staff, my driver. Okay, send this seafoods to these persons, because they will not go outside, and because they are not allowed, since we have our permits as a fish dealer, so we can go outside.
So you're almost like an essential worker, because you have to feed this population.
Yes.
So they gave you a special permit.
Yeah,
so
I have my
drive around.
special permit to go there.
It's amazing how you were able to use the chaos of the pandemic to actually expand to another business.
That's another business. While my real estate business is screwed up.
Right.
So what I did is that people are coming here. Locals are coming here, selling their fish here, because I bought it at a higher price. Triple
what they were selling it for.
Yeah. But I was thinking about another. I want more. I want new. It's first class seafoods. So another planning again. Since I have my connection with different companies in Naga City, there are kind of like big groceries, famous
restaurants,
the restaurants, the wet market. I engage with this company, but what I did is to have a big boat. For those who have a small boats, I build a big boat for them. But still I don't have enough money to do that. And those company that really knew me, they helped me to build this another venture, expansion of my plan, which is growing my business by growing the boats bigger, putting more fishing gears or different kind of nets that can catch the bigger fish, the high quality of fish.
So you got assistance from your network.
Yes.
And the people who believe you.
Who believes me. And what I did, I didn't borrow money. I borrowed their trust. And they send me all their fishing supplies, their groceries, their what I need here, everything that what I need here. In return is the product that I sell to them, because I am earning, and I grow bigger and bigger and bigger and people here are working here together.
And I have to say, this is the most impressed thing is that he has now 20 boats. He has a fleet of boats. And we're not talking about the small boats. We're talking about these mid-sized boats that could accommodate 4 fishermen,
Yes.
right? From the small boats to now these mid-sized boats.
Yeah. Oh, the first one is the small boat. You just only spend 10,000 pesos.
Yeah.
But now the big boats and the fishing nets are kind of like it's almost a $500,000.
Yeah.
You have to spend for kind of like a $500,000.
Just on one boat.
For one boat. 300,000 for the net.
Yeah.
And almost 150 to 200,000 for the big boats.
Yeah.
And I have 20 boats like that.
Now he has 20 boats.
And aside from that, there are still many fishermen that they grow because of buying their fish in a high price. Not in a high price, but in an affordable that they can now, that there is enough to sustain the education of their kids, the living, and their plans for their futures now is there.
And then you were able to use that money to build your Golden Paradise.
And I started to have little by little to build this Golden Paradise.
And 5 years later, here I am. I am sitting in one of his kubos. And of course, you're going to see in this segment, all of his amazing paradise, resort. And I am just absolutely so impressed with this man. How he was able to start with one fish and to be able to create a fleet of fishing boats. Right? All because, if someone were to ask you, what is the secret of your success, what would it be?
For me, the most important here, the secret, I think there is no secret because I don't have a secret. I just want to inspire people. I just want always to tell the story of my life. That's the inspirational. And if the people believe with this story, they can think about more things about themselves also.
What they could do for themselves.
What they can do for themselves. That, whatever happens to your life, trials, failure, always think about that. There is always one thing. The door to success is marked failure. Always there's a marked failure in your life. Then, dream. Push to your dream. And one day, you're gonna achieve it. But don't look only for that thing. Go back to the original, who you are. And bring all those people who are also in need. Share your ideas, your experience, your knowledge, and your being a good person. Because one thing that I always tell to the people here, just be a good person. Everything is in your heart. And you can look forward with your goals.
And now I see your blessings.
Yes.
Do
Do not become a greedy. Because every time you do more things with other people, the blessings is always coming. Because there are many successful businessmen here already knew you. They will gonna help you because of your attitude. That's I always think about that. Do not become, once you're self-centered, you will die alone. But if you are always thinking about others to grow their life and to achieve also their goal, leverage your knowledge, give it to others, all your formula and how to become a successful, give it to others, and one day they will never forget you and they will say thank you. That's why I hear from them. Thank you for changing my life. Thank you for giving me a chance that my kids is now in the second level. Thank you that I'm still working here even though I am studying in the city. Thank you for this opportunity. And it makes me happy. And that's all I want. Because I'm just a simple human being. I don't want to think about how to become a rich. Because I'm already 44 years old. And I'm planning to retire early. Yeah.
Well, you could definitely retire as early as you want in this paradise. It is beautiful. And what I just really love about this place is just how relaxed I feel, right? How much more at peace I feel. And I could understand why you probably would love to retire here,
Yes.
right?
I almost, uh, achieve my dreams.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful with this. The dreams that I achieve is kind of like a big blessing for me. I was thinking that people trust me, you know, say, buy these properties. And we have different properties here. But for me, it's just a blessing. And I don't want to think about this more and more and more because at the end of the day, I cannot bring this to the, in the 6 feet underground now. So just leave it there, but make it sure that this is keep on growing. People are working. People are, improving their life. And one day, those people who connects with you will become like you also. That's only. Ambition is also, we are always doing ambitions in life. But after that, what's next? Are you happy once you reach your ambition? Are you become comfortable? Are you satisfied? Something like that. You're always asked about it. But yeah, sometimes people say that I am rich. I have my money. I have everything. But no one behind you. You are just alone. I don't like that kind of, I want people that beside me or behind me, I want them to become in front of me, to become like me.
So you're always inspiring, motivating, and pushing
Yes.
people up, right?
That's the most important.
Yeah.
Don't limit their goal,
Growth.
their growth. Just keep on sending into the highest level. Educate them, inspire them, because that is the most important thing that you can, achieve your happiness.
I really want to thank you, Sherwin, for being part of this podcast.
Thank you.
I wish we could talk some more, and we're actually going to be having a second part of his podcast. I've already spoke with him about it, and we are going to be taking you on an adventure to all of these different locations, because this is not only his this beach is not only it's not the only beach he owns. He actually owns 2 more beachfronts in the island, and but all of them are just as amazing. So we're going to be seeing more of you, right, in our part 2 session to talk a little bit more about some of his other passions, which is ecotourism, sustainability, fisheries, and business. So I look forward to having you on our future podcast.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm open with that, and always think about that. You're welcome here, and I can always share all my my endeavors, my my achievement,
Exactly.
experience, in order for people listening, the people who are watching right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you more inspirational, you guys, and all these things happen because of my history in life.
Right.
This is a part of my life.
So it's interesting. He started off as a simple selling his fish, one fish at a time, to being a caregiver, to being a real estate developer, to being a resort owner, and now a fishing empire of 20 boats, right? And you're a broker.
Yes, also I'm
fish
a
broker.
fish broker also. So I have also
Wholesaler.
the wholesaler, and there are so many what do you call this category or this fishing industry,
Distributor.
from the owner of the fishing vessels and buying and hiring the fishermen, and there are many other fishermen. They own their boats and we
Retail it to you.
we buy it also, and we hire people in order for us to transport to the city, to the market, and send it to the fishing port, and another set of employees there working with how selling this fish, and another segment is that doing an online business. It's got another employees.
Oh my God, this guy is totally unbelievable. You're really unstoppable, and I can't wait until we get you into the next series to talk a little bit more about your business, and I actually want to know what you want to do in the next 5 or 10 years, which you really is pretty interesting. It's very inspiring. Okay, so look forward to our next episode, in which we're going to have Sherwin Avila of Aviland Golden Paradise and Properties, and we look forward to having him back on the show. Thank you very much, Sherwin.
Thank you. And you're...
Thanks. You did a great job. You really did.
Thank you.
I think, and we're still kind of filming because we're going to be doing like little shorts on here, but so we're going to be taking like a section of what you said, and we're going to create a shorts and reels that you could put on Facebook. Okay, especially talking about how you want to inspire people and how you want to motivate them, what's your motto in life. If you want to just say to the camera, what is your main motto in life, what would that be? I think you touched up on it a bit, is to be able to give back to people, to inspire and motivate them.
For me, the one thing that I want to share it to the people, the one listening and watching this, my message for you guys: don't stop dreaming. Aim high, like what I'm doing. Fly high, Aviland. Fly high, Sherwin. And once you are in the top, don't forget those people at the bottom. Bring it up also. And that will be your satisfaction in life.